Welcome to the Elusive Truth with Rich and Larry. Today in Clown World, Joe Biden has made a vaccination order. This has got a lot of people riled up. Trust me, this is going to be interesting to say the least. So please sit back and relax as we look down the rabbit hole today. Gary.
Hello, Rich.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. And yourself?
Oh, my goodness. I don't know. I was just reacting to your favorite president's mandate.
You know what? I thought we would learn not to react because this is the show we're watching.
Well, there's it.
Or is it?
It's a grand old show, that's for sure.
Unbelievable.
So now he is mandating that if you have over 100 people working for you, you must get vaccinated.
And how are they going to enforce that? With what kind of restrictions? Oh, you can't run your business? Or how is that going to be enforced?
Well, it's going to be really hard to enforce.
Because I only have 99 employees. Well, I keep those other 2 on standby.
Well, that's what they're saying. You're good after that. Don't worry.
But, I mean, what? It's just, I have 2 cousins that are mail deliver guys, whatever they are, mailmen.
Yeah, postal service. Yeah.
Yeah. He called me up freaking out. He goes, come on, Gary, tell me that this ain't true. He says, they're going to mess with my pension and my job if I don't get it. Now, that's made me think is, how do they enforce the penalties if you don't get it besides firing?
Right now, they are doing fines for every violation. And
who's the guys that inspect and make sure that there's only 99 on your payroll?
I have no idea. That's like I said, this just came out this morning. Everybody's freaking out. One good thing, you can tell your postal employee friend that he has nothing to worry about.
Oh, yeah. He's got like 26 years and he don't want to quit. But He ain't never getting the vax.
Right, but they just came out. The U.S. Postal Service is exempt from Biden's order. The only federal component that is exonerated that do not have to take the vaccination. And we can't forget about the illegal immigrants trying to get into the country. They're exempt from this order as well. Isn't that strange?
How can they exempt one category over another?
Well, because got to remember, the Postal Service has to deliver those ballots coming up next year. So you can't have this problem with the Postal Service.
Oh, wow. But federal FBI and police and federal border patrol and federal... there's millions of federal. I can't even go into the categories.
Right. Well, even federal contractors are supposed to be vaccinated. I mean, he's got a whole can of worms he just opened up. The Postal Service is exempt. Everybody else must have the vaccination.
Oh, well, I'm going to call up Big Ed right now. If he hasn't heard the news, I got to turn him on to this. It's a fact, you said, right?
Yeah, the Postal Service is exempt. That's what they're saying. That's coming from the White House. But everybody else... Everybody else must have the vaccination.
He was actually in anxiety yesterday.
Hopefully he's heard the good news. But yeah, if you're a postal person, don't worry about it. But if you're a doctor, a nurse, and like you said, a police officer, customs, anything like that, you need the jab, which brings up a whole other things that are happening. I mean, there's people all over the place quitting. I heard a town just lost their entire police force. They all quit. Oh. This took place in the city of Kimberling in Missouri. The Stone County Sheriff's Department will provide services to the city until the city can figure out what they need to do next. The sheriff also said that they cannot enforce any city laws since they are county law enforcement. So on the bright side of this, the vaccination rebellion, and it's consisting of 21 states, Alaska, Arizona, Alabama, Arkansas, Indiana, Georgia, Iowa, Missouri, Mississippi, Nebraska, Montana, Oklahoma, Idaho, Florida, South Carolina, North and South Dakota, Utah, Wyoming, West Virginia, Texas, and Tennessee already said, no way, not happening.
And is it those because they have Republican governors? Because any state you named, I'll guarantee doesn't have a Democrat governor.
Well, the states I didn't say: California,
You didn't say
Oregon.
Wisconsin. They got a Democrat governor. You didn't say Michigan, that psycho woman.
Correct. There's a whole bunch in the East Coast. All the ones I didn't mention, they're the ones that they haven't said anything yet. At least they're going along with Biden.
Unbelievable. That ain't even half our country, though. 21 states just said you.
Oh, dude, it's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. I mean, the stuff that I'm watching right now all over YouTube, people are going nuts. Just like your friend calling you up. A lot of people. And a lot of
His
people.
wife was like, I don't know what I'm going to do if he has to quit.
Right. But he
Because
doesn't
he would prefer to quit.
Oh, I'm sure he would. A lot of people.
He would take a partial, pension instead of 100%.
Even people that have half a brain that have taken the vaccination say this is wrong. I took it because it was my choice. If you don't want to take it, that is fine. But they're pushing something is really crazy with this vaccination. Something's really bad in there. I'm telling you.
Why do they need? It's about depopulation.
Well, how come Japan? They had 3 people confirmed died from taking the vaccination, and they stopped the vaccinations because of metal. What is it? The
stainless steel.
Stainless steel was found in the vaccination. So they've stopped it, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. Israel, they're still confused. They're still worrying about the variants and what they need to do because they're still spiking, even though they've been vaccinated. Look what's happening in Australia. I mean, the news from Australia is horrible.
I think Americans are going to start taking to the streets.
Well, they're already saying, this is in Australia. Yeah, we're not doing this. This is totally absurd. Absolutely absurd. And what do you think about the new cabal? I guess that's New Zealand, right? The Cabal Island is New Zealand?
I've told you that, haven't I mentioned that to you before?
Yes, you have.
Because the art of war is you secure your perimeter first, and they've secured theirs.
It was reported in New Zealand, I forget where, but they're having problems with, I guess, people stabbing each other. So, yeah, it's getting a problem.
That would be a problem.
So they're trying to ban knives now. Ban knives in New Zealand. And then there's other places like I guess in China, they're having a problem with people stabbing each other. I mean,
well, China is still communist, and China still has concentration camps.
Right. But see, it's that variant, that jab that they put into you is mind controlling somehow. And I guess making people nuts, going after each other.
I bet they have some sort of direct energy that they know activates it more in your bloodstream.
Well, see, that's a conspiracy right there. And watch that coming out to be true.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I just made that up.
It's probably true, though. I mean, it's common sense. I mean, what is going on with this place? I mean, everybody's going nuts. Really? In the media. Oh, my goodness. Back and forth. And now, and poor Joe. I mean, he can barely even do anything right now.
And now he's out mandating federal laws, and he can't even complete a sentence.
Yeah, but can he do that part?
You know what? It goes back to the show thing. You have to show the people what tyranny is.
It's everywhere.
And this is, because is the government overstepping its boundaries as a government of a free, constitutional republic? Are they overstepping their boundaries with these mandates?
Yes, they're absolutely.
Of course. So at what point, is there privacy included in the Constitution and all this stuff? Are we losing every right?
According to our government, they're not following proper protocol procedures. For things to become law, it has to be passed by Congress, right? The president, Joe, made a campaign promise about not being a president who would rule by decree. And here he is mandating vaccinations to everyone.
Oh, yeah, that's when he was with Obama. This is Obama on steroids.
That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. And then,
of
course,
I bet you that's who's behind this.
Well, I just saw a little clip of Obama. He's rooting for Gavin Newsom, because in 4 days they're having an election recall to see what's going to happen. This guy named Larry Elder, he's the front runner.
Yeah.
He's got some common sense goals. It looks like he's going to, if this goes through, he's going to probably be the next governor. But they just showed yesterday where I guess this white woman in a gorilla mask with pink hair threw an egg at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that totally okay with that. But if it was anybody else, like Maxine Waters, somebody throwing an egg at her, that'd be Oh, that's racist
Dressed up like a
discrimination.
monkey?
Yeah, arrest them immediately, throw away the key. I mean, it's oh my God. It just, but no, this I don't know what happened to this dumb lady, but it's just ridiculous. These people out here, absolutely amazing. I mean, California.
Oh,
Wow, what a difference going on there. But yes, and even Newsom is trying to say that yeah, everybody needs to be vaccinated. But
I'll
again,
bet you George Soros is dumping billions into paying the people to go and just keep Newsom in there.
you know what happened in Maricopa? Where is the audit results? They were deemed to come out what 30 days, 60 days ago.
Yeah, I think it's right around the corner.
Yeah, that needs to come out because that's going to show what's going on, and that's why it's being hidden right now. Because that's going to open up a whole can of worms. See, it is going to show that President Trump was right about the rigged elections. Everything's going to go nuts. Everybody's back in school. People are trying to get back to work, but then all of a sudden you have this mandate that you must be vaccinated, and that just, oh my goodness, it's turbulent times.
Oh man, I'm glad I talked to you. I'm still itching to call my cousin who was freaking out yesterday.
The idiocracy, the hypocrisy of what's going on in today's society. I mean, all these other businesses must comply, but the Postal Service doesn't. And it's just like I was talking to my daughter, her first day of school. She said the classrooms are packed. There's a lot of kids in there, and everybody's like normal desk to desk. The only time they're 6 foot apart is when they're at lunch, when they're eating.
Do they have to wear masks?
Yes, they wear masks. And
They can take them off when they're eating.
Yes, it is a crazy clown world that we live in today. To circle back, like Jen Psaki has to say, I'd like to play you a piece by Ron DeSantis. He's the governor of Florida, and he had a lot to say about Joe Biden's order this morning.
Well, I would just say generally, when you're taking action that's unconstitutional, that threatens the jobs of the people in my state, many thousands of jobs, I'm standing for them. We're going to protect their jobs against federal overreach. And this is a guy who criticizes the state of Florida for protecting parents' rights. He says school boards should be able to eliminate parents' rights and force 5-year-old kids to wear masks all day. That's what he thinks is appropriate government. Yet, here he comes from Washington, D.C., instituting an unprecedented mandate, which even his own people have acknowledged in the past is not constitutional. That's not leadership. And I think the problem I have with Joe Biden more than anything, this guy doesn't take responsibility for anything. He's always trying to blame other people, blame other states. This is a guy that promised when he ran for president that he would shut down the virus. If you look now, there's 300% more cases in this country today than a year ago when we had no vaccines at all. So his policies are not working. He's doubling down on things that are going to be very destructive for the livelihoods of many Americans, and obviously going to be destructive to our constitutional system and the rule of law. And so these are times when you believe in that Constitution, you got to stand up. And obviously the substantive issue is important because there are places that are going to toss aside people they've worked this whole time throughout COVID. Now all of a sudden they should be tossed aside. They were working when nobody had vaccine. You don't know their history. You don't know why they're making decisions that they're making. Many of these people have already recovered and they have immunity. The idea that somehow you have somebody that gets a Johnson & Johnson, they can work, but someone that's got natural immunity somehow can't, that natural immunity is strong. So it's not based on science, and you can say he's saying he's losing patience with people. You know, at the end of the day, we don't live with a one-person rule in this country. We live in a constitutional system which people's rights are respected, but particularly in this juncture, their livelihoods and their jobs have to be protected. I mean, just think about, what this mandate would do. It's going to drive people out of work, out of hospitals, out of all this stuff where you have a need for people. So it's totally counterproductive, and I think it'll ultimately lose in court. But before that, there needs to be action taken to protect the people of our state and hopefully of the entire United States. Nobody should lose their job based on this decision.
Amazing. I wish more governors would have the same attitude as Governor Ron DeSantis. Oh, and don't forget about Texas Governor Abbott. He is another governor that at least is going by the Constitution and wants to take care of his citizens. So, on that positive note, I'd like to say I want to talk more about SETI and the Galactic Federation instead of Joe Biden's vaccination scam. I mean, this is just unbelievable. And the mandates he's trying to come out with, there's got to be more to it. I mean, we live in a better society than this.
Oh, shoot. Hey, I got to get this call. AZ Intel.
Oh,
I don't know what he's calling me for.
all right, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.
I'll call him back. Thank you. Bye.